Everyone, CountBlagorath here with an album review, this time the 2012 Sumerian Records release of Autotheism by the Faceless. If you're not familiar with the Faceless, they are an American technical death metal / deathcore band. They really hit the scene hard with their debut album, which was my favorite up to this point. I absolutely love that album. Planetary Duality was very good, and musicianship-wise, it was leagues above the debut. But the thing that bothered me about that album was the production, and more specifically, the drum sound. The drum sound was very, very clicky, very unnatural sounding, very bad sounding in my opinion, and it honestly gives me a headache to listen to. I can't listen to Planetary Duality at all anymore. And it sucks because there's a lot of very good music on it, but that production just killed it for me. With Autotheism, you see the Faceless doing what they're known for, which is absolutely amazingly technical songs, yet are still easy to listen to, and there isn't a hell of a lot that you really need to examine in order to understand what's going on. I felt Planetary Duality kind of lacked that element of being able to grasp it fully with one listen. It was an album that you really had to listen to a bunch of times in order to truly comprehend what was going on. But with this album, it is a one-time listen, you will understand it 100% type of record. And I really, really like that sort of album. With this album, I find it to be just absolutely near perfect with its blend of very, very progressive structures and very progressive more mellow moments in the music, and combining them with that insane technical ability that the Faceless is known for having. And I have to say, this is my new favorite album by the Faceless, and I find this to be near perfect. The guitar is just very, very good sounding, like the actual sound of the guitar itself. The tone is extremely thick and heavy, but it's so clean sounding. It's very unique, and it's hard to find in technical death metal a very good tone. Either it's too flat or too bassy. This is the perfect tone, and I love it. For the cleaner guitar sounds and more mellow stuff, it sounds very good. Very easy to grasp onto, but once when they start to branch off into the technical territory, it feels like business as usual for the Faceless, but almost maybe toned back just a little bit from the barrage of sweeping and tapping and insane scales that they are absolutely well known for. If you know the Faceless, you know that they love their sweeps and taps, and this is the best blend of the more melodic and progressive sound and this extreme technical ability that they have. It's a very good duality, and I really like how they mixed it on this album. And it's really the first time they've ever done anything quite like this. Bass-wise, just phenomenal. The bassist is a great musician, and he obviously knows what he's doing. I really, really love how the bass flows into the songs, and it doesn't really overwhelm the mix. There's no part of the bass that just really seems to overwhelm it, and it doesn't feel underwhelming. It just sounds extremely good, and it kind of branches off just a little bit in its own territory sort of thing, but it's nothing that goes beyond what I think would sound good or even sound reasonable. With the drums, some of the best drum work that has been done by the Faceless has been done on this album. Just very good, very intricate beats. Every drum sounds fantastic and amazing. Nothing sounds clicky, and that was my #1 concern, was that the kick drum would sound like Planetary, and it doesn't. And I cannot be happier about that, because that is what ruined the album for me. This just sounds absolutely perfect. I love the rhythms that he comes up with the kick drums. I love the patterns. I love the blast beats. I love the more melodic and progressive passages. Even in the slower parts, he keeps it simple when it should be, and he makes it a little bit more technical and intricate when it needs it. And I like that he can do a basic 4/4 beat like he does at the beginning of the very first song, and not feel the need to have to branch off and create this whole new sound. He sticks with what works, and that's what I like. I don't like a showing off of ability, which I can't get into that. It has to sound natural, and this album sounds very natural when it comes to that. Vocally, this is just an absolute beast of a record, but surprisingly there's just as much clean vocals as there are growls, which took me by surprise. And I really enjoy that, because the clean vocals on this record are bar none the best the Faceless have done, and some of the best I've heard in a band of this style. They're very mid-range, kind of deeper a little bit. Just very, very awesome sounding. Almost reminds me of Michael from Dark Tranquillity on the song Iridium. When he does the clean vocals, it has that sort of lower mid-range. And then there's some vocals that are a little bit higher, which you heard a little bit on Planetary Duality, which is cool. But these sound a lot better. Vocally just progressed a lot. And now when it comes to the growls, I'm pretty sure they're done by the new... I know the growls are done by the new vocalist. I'm not too sure about the cleans. I'm pretty sure the guitarist does the cleans. When it comes to the new vocalist, he is absolutely fantastic. Just as good as the last vocalist. Absolute beast with the low guttural vocals, but are still understandable. Some very good high-pitched screams, but mostly lows, and I really like that. It's mixed up enough where it doesn't feel monotonous and monotone. It just sounds very good, and that's what I like to hear. And the concept of this album is very interesting, and I really kind of like the idea that they're going for a concept with this album, just like they did with the last. So, massive props to them. This album is one that every technical death metal fan should look into, an even progressive fan, I would say, if you're a fan of progressive metal, and let's say Opeth style, maybe even some melodic death metal. This might be the Faceless album that will get you into them, and then I recommend you check out the debut. But for a score, I keep giving high numbers, and I don't like to keep giving high numbers constantly in my reviews, but this is one that truly is worthy of a high score. And with this album, I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. This is the best album in the Faceless discography, and probably one of the best technical albums that'll come out this year. That's all I gotta say about this album. Just amazing stuff. Check it out. Be sure you pick this up, because it's going to be worth every single penny. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And as always, keep it metal.